And y'all, right now, daughter calls, mama takes time for daughter. Love y'all, but we're in that kind of watching mode. So, anyway, uh, I have my bottles. I just got these off. I will put the thing in. I got these off Wayfair, but you can also get them on Amazon. So I'll put the Amazon code in the bottom affiliate code. This is a cube of strawberry, uh, 2 apple cubes. I put 2 strawberries in here. I think I did. 2 strawberry, excuse me, ice cubes, 2 apple cubes, and 1 pineapple, and a little bit of kale. Um, and I'm just letting it melt. So we're gonna see how long out here. It's what 6:46. So we'll see how long it's gonna take to melt this. Let me just put this out because otherwise it takes flight. I don't think that's totally windy today, but I don't want to try that home maneuver. But anyway, this is the majority way. I know you can't see it, but I see the ice cubes through there. This is the way we're gonna juice majority of the time. Now, one thing I'm gonna say is I am starting to notice just a little bit, not necessarily pain wise. I'm just starting to notice just a little difference. Um, I did try beet juice yesterday, which actually, quite frankly, it's kind of almost acting like I would if I was taking a muscle relaxer. Um, because my things were popping and moving and stuff after having that. My one thing that I'm gonna say about the beet juice is this to y'all. Don't have it on an empty stomach. Woo-wee. I came home from we finally did that wonderful interview with that gentleman that uh was doing that for our channel and doing that for mama and I. But I finally got done with doing we did that interview and I was and then see and nothing not upset in the least. I was very, very thankful. He's a great guy. Anyway, he had these lights, of course, for the studio, and they were right in they had to be right in your eyes so you could be shown nice and everything. And unfortunately, sometimes it can and sometimes it can't. It can trigger a migraine headache. So I started with one and then I didn't curve it in time. And then we went to Dollar Tree to get sandwich bags or quart bags and freezer bags so I could put the ice cube juice stuff in it. And by the time I got home and then I decided to uh juice the apples and strawberries and something else and the carrots and the beets. And I should have never done that. I should have gone and eaten something and taken care of myself and I didn't. And then I went and drank beet juice and my stomach was relatively kind of upset after that. So my recommendation for anybody starting this journey from what I've learned so far is if you're going to have beet juice. Now see, I didn't have it today. I'm skipping it till tomorrow. Don't do it on an empty stomach because I went through and I had some crackers or something and it settled everything down. But then I literally was just really tired and I slept for like 2 hours. I mean, it was just like I had to lay down and stop moving and literally crashed for like 2 hours. And so we went to bed late on Memorial Day and then it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, and then we were up early. And so I know it didn't have enough sleep, but also I think having kind of an upset stomach didn't help. So if you're someone that's starting do things very slowly. Like for Mr. Blessed to Crochet, we did go to the doctor today. They did put him on antibiotics. He had a little upset tummy this afternoon for whatever reason, and certain things didn't stay down. So be praying that this antibiotic, he seems like he's coughing less from the first round of this antibiotic. And if this works, I'm going to clobber somebody. Yes, it's near our house and it's very beautiful. Thank you, user. Um, because he could have had this 3 weeks ago. And like I said, we're excited to become grandparents, but he can't go and see the little one if he's coughing like this. So he's got to get better. And that's what I told the doctor. And so hopefully he can tolerate the antibiotic, but he's not coughing as much. We got to get him better so he can go see enjoy the grandpa experience or the papu experience his grandfather in Greek is. So I've been starting him on juice. I got to give him a break tomorrow, and we've got to start really light on him because his whole digestive system and whole body is just like, what is this? I'm realizing to some degree I got to kind of start a little bit light because my body isn't used to all of this as well. So, um, these are glass jars. Like I said, we're going to see how long it takes. I'm outside, but you don't want to put in plastic jars because that'll absorb it'll stain them and it'll absorb the flavors of them. The glass jars are not going to do that. I think these were like $20 on Amazon, something like that. Pretty inexpensive. Um, but um, this way, especially at night, if I know I'm going to give him some pineapple juice in the morning, I can give him pineapple juice and I can put the ice cubes in here, let them unthaw overnight, and then be able to give him a juice in the morning. So, um, or if I want to do a little beet juice, I can take two of these things and put like an ice cube of beet juice in this and then pour it into another one and have, divide that ice cube up in 2 different days or give him half the ice cube and give me half the ice cube or give it to mama, whatever it is. But uh the rule for juicing, so everybody knows, is about 80%, 20%, um, 80% fruits and vegetables and 20% fruits and stuff. I know I know that this seems like a lot of fruit compared to the little bit of kale. It's like this much kale literally that because I just juiced a lot. Just juiced about a bunch of kale. I got, I think, for like $1.50, and I got about a cup of kale out of it. But I only put a little bit of kale in because my body's like, "What's kale?" I don't like kale eating it, so hopefully I'll like it drinking it. So far, I really the things I thought I would go, "Oh goodness gracious, I can't say this." I really have liked like the beets and everything. I just didn't like the after effect after the beets because it really messed with my stomach a little bit. But again, I would never do it on an empty stomach, and you have to be careful when you're doing beets and stuff because you need to put something like an apple with it or an orange with it or something because that vitamin C will help absorb to your body. It needs that, but I will never do beet juice again on an empty stomach. I'll make sure I have something. So look up what you can have with like beet juice and stuff like that. Um, so you know what to pair it with and not to pair it so that it doesn't like you're drinking it, but you're gonna have like I think cheese is one of them. Like if you eat that with a thing of cheese, it's gonna like what's the use of drinking it? So you got to pay attention to what you can have that may discount or not allow the iron and stuff to absorb. So um even though this is 2 cubes of strawberries, 2 cubes of apples, which are low glycemic, and a thing of pineapple, I'm doing a little bit more fruit and I'm slowly adding the vegetables in till I can get to an 80-20% ratio. Because I think my body's gonna go, huh? What? You want me to digest that? We're not used to this. I don't do, I mean, I do salads and all that kind of stuff, but this kind, I'm not used to stuff, certain things. So, um, I'm adding a little bit more fruit and then I'm going to slowly reduce that and up the vegetables and so forth. But apples are low glycemic. I didn't do beets today because I did it yesterday. And if I'm going to do any kind of beets, I'm probably going to alternate them. Like when I go in, um, I'll get one of these bottles ready with a beet, an apple mixture so that tomorrow I can have it, but I'll only do 1 cube of beets or it's soft enough. I think I could even take the ice cube and even cut it in half. Hi, Alfonso. So anyway, we're gonna just didn't take long to melt. It's still melting before I can drink it and tell you all what I think. Um, but we're gonna be doing, as I kind of said some videos. I did record me juicing all this so that I can put it up and let you know exactly how much. But hi, Jank. Not yet. I'm not there yet. Next month I will be officially, but I'm not quite there yet. Almost there, but we haven't had that yet. It's not official yet. Um, One thing we're going to be doing a lot of is doing taking a lot of the fruits and vegetables and putting them in ice cube trays, like doing individual. For instance, I juiced a whole pineapple and then I put in ice cube trays. I juiced strawberries and I put it in ice cube trays. I'm doing apples, I put them in ice cube trays. Did I change out the thing every time I did it? No, because it's like if a little bit of apple gets into strawberries, it's not going to matter. But the reason we're going to be doing a lot of things in ice cube form, not that I'm not going to do recipes and show you guys and all that kind of stuff, but the reason we're doing a lot in ice cube form is because we have to get our fruits and vegetables. We tend to shop in bulk. We tend to shop at the very beginning of the month. So if we're going to get fruits and vegetables, we're going to get them with deals and sales and local farmers markets and everything like that. And it's not going to last all month. But if we ice cube them, like today, I was able to come out and say, I think I'll do a kale shot, if you want to call it. I'll do a kale drink. And well, you know what? I got strawberries and apples and pineapple ice cubes that I did. Let me put all that and just let it melt. And that'll make me a juice. Um, and if I knew I wanted to have like a beet juice in the morning, I could take beet a cube of beet juice and add apples and carrots and whatever I had on hand, kale, to that, put that in the freezer, and then the next day it's ready to go because cold pressed juice will last for 3 days. So if there's a sale on pineapple at the store, I like pineapple, but I can't drink like 18 cups of pineapple. I don't think anybody can in 3 days. So ice cube is the way to go. And I think that that's somewhat a degree of a little bit of hesitation with people is juicing is like the cost of the machine and we got a really good price, but then how do you consume all of it? Put it in ice cube trays. If you freeze it in ice cube trays, then you can kind of somewhat make your juice what you want it. I was able to go, well, I'll take a little strawberry, I'll take a couple cubes of apples, one little bit of kale. I didn't do beets today because after yesterday I'll probably integrate the beets a couple times a week to start. I don't think I could have them every day on hand, but I'm going to start integrating them a little bit. I told his doctor we were starting him on juicing, but Josh is going to have to be real slow because his body's just not used to any of this at all. So anyway, but that's what we're going to do. If you're hesitant to start juicing, ice cube your juice, and then if you know you're going to have want to have juice the next day, put it in, buy some glass jars. I mean, these are ice cubes just fit right in them. They're nice wide mouth jars, right? Just put the ice cubes in there and let them unthaw in the refrigerator or, you know, sit it out on your counter for 2 hours and it'll be unthawed and you can enjoy it. See, they're starting to come around. I don't know how I'm gonna like kale. It was funny because when I was juicing this kale, Josh was like, "You're juicing kale? That makes nose." And he is so funny because he's like, everything tastes like dirt. Spot's just not used to it. But I'm getting him used to it. I'm getting used to it. So anyway, it's all good stuff. But we're gonna be juicing. Uh, I'm gonna do recipes and so forth, but we're gonna be doing a lot of juice through ice cube trays. I think that that's kind of the way to go as far as we go, and um, by doing that, So that's the way we're going to do a lot of juices. Juicing through ice cube trays. And I can still do recipes. I can still show you all recipes and all that kind of stuff. All that stuff can still happen because I can make recipes when I juice and then ice cube that and then just say, okay, this is an apple, carrot, kale, apple, kale, apple, kale, carrot. I don't think I'm gonna really add the beets. Honest to goodness gracious. I think with the beets, I'm probably not gonna ever add them to recipes, and I'll tell you why. Um, I think the beets are gonna kind of be one of those things that I want to be able to control how much, and at least for a little bit till my body is used to it. And I want to do it in a way that I just how much. And so if I do a recipe that has beets in it, then I'm stuck with having to consume that. And then if it's too much or I can only handle a certain much of the beets, then I'm gonna kind of be stuck with that. So this way, if I kind of put the beets separately and I add them, and the next time I do beets, I'm even gonna probably fill the ice cube trays only half full instead of to the top. So I can just have a little bit and then I can adjust it as need be. I may even look into seeing if I can find the little ice cube trays are like little balls, you know? That way they're just like even smaller. So I have to be able to find that. And so I may do that. But for right now, I'm probably just gonna take the ice cube trays and like put half half of the beets in the in, only fill them halfway full because this way I can adjust. So I probably won't do many recipes where I'm showing myself actually putting the beets in. I'm going to make the beets separately and then, add them. Say I added, half of an ice cube of beets to it. Um, because I really am going to have to adjust, especially that one, just because I liked the way I felt afterwards, after I kinda woke up and I don't know whether it was the migraine or the combination, I don't know what it was, but it did not like my stomach. Now the thing was is Josh had it, he had a little bit upset tummy, but he had nothing in his stomach. And Mama, I gave some to her. She didn't have an upset tummy afterwards, but she had just had her lunch. So that's where I thought, I probably should have never done this on an empty stomach. So if you're juicing and you're not used to it, don't do beet juice on empty stomach, guys. I had to go lay down and fall asleep, and I was really tired yesterday, and I was kind of tired today. Another part of this process, honestly, that I'm realizing is my body is somewhat detoxing. And I said that to Josh. I said, our bodies are going to go through a detox stage because you're getting all this stuff, right? That your body is just not used to. It still feels like there's ice cubes in there. So it only took, what is it, 7:04? There's still a little bit of ice in there. Give it another half an hour. I mean, it's almost melted. And for people that say it gets rid of the pulp, it does not get rid of all the pulp. I mean, there's still pulp in here. It's not a smooth where it gets rid of everything. It filters a lot of it out, but you're still getting stuff. I mean, I think it's pretty much. I'll give it another few minutes because another 20 minutes. But still, we've been out here for what? Maybe 45 minutes? So I'd say anywhere between about 45 minutes to an hour. And you have it melted, and then at least you get to buy your fruits and vegetables in bulk, and nothing goes to waste. So hopefully everybody's having a good day. I didn't let people know we were going live. Of course, I was running behind because Dr. Cold, she gets first priorities right now. I gotta clean my scissors. And I think too, one thing other thing that I'm gonna do this time when I drink the juice too is I'm just gonna let it. I'm gonna sip on it. I'm not gonna just drink it. I'm gonna just sip on it and let my body kind of get used to it. And if I can't drink all of it, I will drink some of it tomorrow. It'll still be good tomorrow. But if I divide it in 2 days so my body gets used to it, and that's exactly what this girl is gonna do. But am I a fan of juicing? Yes. I can't. I don't think I'll ever. I can't say never, but after having fresh pineapple juice and um, fresh pineapple juice and fresh apple juice, I don't think I could go back to store bought. It won't. It won't taste right. So we still need help with watch hours, y'all. It's a little bit somewhat discouraging when our watch hours were at 3:43, and then you go on and you gained about 15, which means you lost 30 of it because they look at it and say, well, you got to take stuff away from the previous year. It's just you keep gaining and losing. So you all can help with the watch hours. It would be appreciative, very, 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 very much so. I did. I took a nap today. I was tuckered. I've got to practice my flute too. Getting better with the song, but I got to practice it. I was in no mood to practice it yesterday. No, not whatsoever. I was going to bring my tea out here, but I remembered when I was looking up iron stuff, they said tea can be something that could actually take you, you know, it can limit the amount of absorption for certain things. So I thought, well, if there is any iron in there or anything, I don't want to minimize the absorption. So, but if I have this out here now, and then when I go inside, I'll have my tea. I was just, I was tired, and I was going to come out here earlier, but I just couldn't get, I could not. I lay down to have a nap, and I did. And I gave a shout out on Monday to a channel that I know to everybody. As we try this. Somewhat of a larger channel, but he's got a pretty big following. But I did it because I really, really, and my mom has started to like his content. It's clean, it's nice, it's he goes and does challenges and um goes and travels the world and goes on different places and everything. And I mean, it's like I may not ever be on an Alaskan cruise, but he goes on and he's got this wonderful English accent. And he always asks, just reminds me so much of my dad's kind of personality, where it was like, my dad never met a stranger. And so it was like, how are you? And he would get into conversations. And um, even Josh says, boy, if your dad and him ever met, we never get them apart. Hi, Gail. Welcome on in. Um, so I'm gonna start watching more stuff tomorrow on Broken Hearts Ministry. I'll start watching another playlist so we can get we're sitting about, what is it, like 9:35 away from at least getting partial monetization back. So any help with that, or spreading the word, or getting it out there to help us with it. Because the faster we get, the faster we stop losing hours. As you know how YouTube works. So so let's see, where are we at? I got yarn fuzz on my juice. Yep. Okay, so this is, before I start this, this is, you just got a juicer. This is kale. Took about 45 minutes for the ice cubes to unthaw. Ice cube of pineapple, 2 ice cubes of strawberries, and 2 ice cubes of apples. Now again, I put about just like that much on the bottom of kale. Your rule is about 80-20% vegetables, and apples are actually on the low glycemic scale. But I did a little bit more fruit till my body gets used to the taste of the fruits of the vegetables and get transitioned to 80-20% rule. But I will let you know how this tastes. I'm not a kale drinker. I've never drank kale before. I really don't like kale. And just so you know, the strawberries and the kale and the apples, we all put in a bath of baking soda, water with baking soda, let it sit for about 20 minutes. Then we rinse that out, and then we put water with vinegar and let that sit for about 20 minutes and rinsed it out. We put a plate on top so everything was absorbed. So I'll let you know what it tastes like. I thought it'd be sweeter, but it's good. It's like the slushy almost, because there's still a little bit of ice in it. It's good. I don't really taste the kale. I thought I would, but I don't really taste it. I taste the pineapple. It's delicious. And I thought for sure I'd taste the kale. I really don't taste the kale. And I'm so surprised. Mm. I am so surprised. For sure I taste the kale. That's good. That's good. So if you all are hesitant about juicing, my biggest hesitation was the cost of the machine. Got a great deal on Wayfair. There's one comparable on Amazon. That's the first thing. Second of all, is because of when we have to buy our produce, which is the first of the month, first couple weeks of the month. I was so afraid that if I got it, that I would absolutely waste my fruits and vegetables. I wouldn't be able to consume them enough. Get ice cube trays, juice things. Even let's say like you juice a pineapple. Don't have to wash out your machine if you do pineapples and then you do strawberries, apples. So a little bit of strawberry gets in the apple. Who cares, right? For us, the only time I would do that, or I would do it at the very end of the cycle, is Josh is allergic to honeydew and cantaloupe. And so those two things, if I was going to juice anything, I would make sure that I'm going to juice those towards the end of the thing, not the beginning. So like when I did the beets, I didn't wash the machine out. I just went and did the carrots. So a little bit of beets gets in the carrots. You know what I mean? Um, but I started ice cubing all those things so that when I came out here, I was able to I just done the kale. So I didn't have to, um, put an ice cube full of kale, but I had already done the, um, pineapple. I'd already done the apple. I'd already done the strawberry and yeah, the strawberry, apple, and pineapple. So I was able to put the kale in. I was able to put the pineapple, a couple cubes of strawberries, a couple cubes of apple, and just let it on thaw. Because there's so much nutrients in juice. And the thing is it like somebody like Josh that really struggles with being able to consume the fiber in the juice. That's his main problem. Is he really has a problem consuming the fiber in the juice. It takes that out of the equation for him. And there's still fiber. We kept the leftover strawberry mixture, the strawberry pulp out of the side. Now, one thing I did with the strawberries is I took the greens and I took those, okay, and I went ahead and juiced those first. I don't know about you, but the greens on the top of the strawberries are able to be juiced. I don't think I want to eat them. You probably can, but they seem a little on the tough side. So what I did was I went ahead and juiced those separately. I got about a half a cup of juice out of that. So that would have been a half a cup of juice wasted. And I didn't want to waste. Then I cleaned out the machine, right? And I went ahead and juiced the rest of the strawberries. I took the strawberry pulp and I put it in the refrigerator. And my mom said she has put it in her yogurt and she said it's absolutely delicious. Um, I was thinking about trying to find a like a quick bread to put the pulp in from strawberries. I kept the kale pulp. I freeze that because mom makes bone broth. So when she makes bone broth, we can put a whole thing of some of the pulp from her whole bag of pulp stuff she can use for bone broth, um, including the kale, which will flavor the bone broth very nicely. Um, I took the beet pulp because I thought that's something else that she can put in with the bone broth. So we're gonna start a whole little thing of when she does her bone broth of kind of having a bag she can put in of the juice pulp. Um, you can save it for recipes and all that kind of stuff too as well. Um, but we just took the strawberry stuff and she's put it in her yogurt. She said it's been very nice. So I didn't save the strawberries with tops on them, but I was expecting to taste more of the kale than I do, and I don't really taste the kale, which is good. It is really good though. It's not as sweet as I thought it was going to be. Trying to work on these soap caddies because I have them ready before July 3rd. And you can put pulp in slushies and all different kind of stuff, but I'm gonna have to go a little later on. Gosh, the body gets used to all this stuff. If there's anybody that knows a lot about juicing, I will gladly have a discussion on it. And two, another thing too is I have a real hard time getting my water in me sometimes. So I'm looking forward to being able to take some of the ice cubes, like the apple ice cube and the pineapple or the strawberry or some of the other ones and put them in my water to flavor the water. And that's one method too, because then you're putting the ice cube in that has juice, has full of nutrients and vitamins. I just have always struggled with that. Not really someone that, I mean, I can have a soda and I enjoy sodas from time to time, but it's not, and even if I get a soda, I don't often finish it. When I was younger, it was different, but as I gotten older, it's just I get busy and I'm like, oh, I haven't had any water in a couple little bit, and I'm like, oh, guys, drinks hydrate my body. But I'm excited to get more, try stuff, see what I like. I want to try the beet juice again. I don't think I'll have the same reaction 'cause I'm gonna eat something before I have it. Ooh, that was a little nauseating. But we got to get ready for that show on the 3rd of July. So I thought I'd taste more of the kale on that. I don't. I'm pleasantly surprised. I was trying to get out of here earlier, but I couldn't move my body. I laid in bed for a while, just like I'm just tuckered. I don't think, Josh said to me today, he looked at me, I said, between your coughing and just having my mind in other places right now, I'm not sleeping right. I get up in the middle of the night and I'm like, my thoughts are on my daughter. And I told her that today. And one thing that I did tell her too was, you know, there's a part of me that's a little, I don't want to say I don't want to mess it up. It's not the word that I want to say. But I look back at my grandmothers and I don't have this warm, fuzzy feeling. And my mother and I were talking about it last night, the other day. Hold on a second, guys. And I said, my mother said, Mary, she said, there was a lot of wonderful things with your grandmother and a lot of wonderful memories. She said, but your grandmother kind of messed that up a little bit because when you became a teenager, and to her, I was a little chubbier than what she would have liked me to be. And she became very critical. And so the relationship that we had was just difficult. And on top of that, it's just my other grandmother was mentally ill. So I never knew what I was going to get from her. And I did, when I became a teenager, get into an Elvis group. There was this one lady, her name was Gail. She became that adopted grandmother to me. And she, she became that grandmother to some degree, what it was like to have a grandmother. And I said to my daughter, I don't have a warm, fuzzy feeling when I think of grandma, when I think of a grandmother. I want to make sure that I'm a good one. She said, Mom, you're going to be an amazing one. And I said, yeah, but, it's breaking that chain from my history. And, it's something that I'll sit there and tell. my this little one is, you know, they're gonna know about their great grandmothers, you know, because it's important. It's part of our family heritage. It's not going to be hidden under a bushel, that's for sure. It's no way to live. It's part of our family heritage. As difficult as it is, it's not always pretty, but I have to decide. This will be good with orange or purple. I think I missed it with the purple one. I don't have a lot of purple, that's true. We got orange, not a lot of purple. We'll see in a minute. I started this in the doctor's office. I was halfway through with this one. And I want to go down to the Amish country, but I can't get down to the Amish country till it gets better. So I can take some of these and see if we'll go down there because the people, and I've got to get down to, what is it? The Christmas, there's a Christmas house place down there. See if they would take some of my soap caddies for the all year round Christmas shop. Hey Lucy, welcome on in. You can put hashtag blessed in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel. And Gail's, yours is exclamation point Gail because you're a mod. So anybody has the ability to run our stuff, please, please, please. I'd like to get back to the monetization. As soon as possible. It is beautiful out today. It's not too hot yet. Now, my other question is to see if I want orange or purple. I used to do this exactly how the, no, they're not going in there. Go someplace else, but you're not going in my thing. It's a speeder. And I don't want it in my wagon there. Of course, so Christina saw it. She'd run. Okay. So I have some more of my juice. This is kale. And then the rest, I did a little bit of kale juice, juice kale today. And so I put a little bit of kale in to get used to it. And I did, I have to wash that. Sure. Have the lid on tight. Okay. Lid wasn't on tight as it should have been. Lid was not tight. Otherwise, I'm impressed. Anyway, so I did the ice cube, um, ice cube, the ice cubes I had left over from juicing. 2 ice cubes of pineapple, or two ice cubes of apple, 2 ice cubes of strawberry, 2 ice cubes of pineapple, or 1 ice cube of pineapple, excuse me. And I thought I'd taste the kale. I really don't. And it's delicious. It is really good. And I just let it sit to get unthawed. And that way you're not wasting juice. You can juice, you can preserve your juice. It will last up to 3 to 6 months. I can tell you right now, I will be having, this kind of stuff every day. It's not gonna last 3 or 6 months. It's delicious. But One other thing I'm going to say is if your body is not used to this, I mean, I could have filled this all the way up, but don't start heavy. Start light and allow your body to get used to it, especially when it comes to beet juice. That one we're going to start really slow till my body gets used to that one. We thought for sure I'd taste kale. Did not taste kale at all. It's not because I got a little bit on the bench. I thought for sure I'm going to taste kale. Do not taste the kale, not one bit. And it's delicious. So those are glass jars I got off of Amazon. Actually, got off Wayfair, but they have the same thing on Amazon, so I'll get a link for that. So if you're going to be doing something like that, taking your ice cube trays of juice or putting it in a container, I would recommend a glass one because this will not absorb the stains and it won't absorb the flavor. Sometimes plastic after a while, whatever you put in there, you're going to taste later on. Okay. Let me see if I like the orange or whether I want to do a purple one. I think we're going to do an orange. I don't think that'll look half bad. We'll kind of, I used to do these exactly like verbatim. If I use purple at the bottom, I use it up. But I've got all these leftover strings. It's like I'm going to use whatever I've got left over that I can use, I'm going to use. Because I want to use them up. So if they go, they go. Josh gave me this little contraption and I probably have to buy me one. Buy me something to get needle nose pliers. And I've noticed by using this, I get to kind of get the ends and I get to really get like have to be careful. I can't pull too hard, but it does help to tighten the ends of these things to make sure that I've really gotten a good knot, at least on that part. Even though I knot them. So, and Josh, I'm gonna have to start really light on the juice. His body is just not used to it, which is fine. We'll get used to it. We'll get that. Hey, we do travel. Welcome on in. We're out here just sitting. I'm sipping on my juice. It is delicious. Just started our juice journey. Highly recommend it. It's actually, and if you're somebody that is a little hesitant to start juicing, get a juicer and then start putting things in ice cube trays. Because then you can go out and get the produce when you find the deals. You can get them, juice them, and then put them in the freezer. And and then the one thing I like about ice cubing them, even though it's just an extra step to have to do, is then you can make your own juice. Like tomorrow, if I'm like, I'll have a little bit of kale, and today I want a little bit. But if I had blueberries and I had strawberry. Maybe I want blueberries tomorrow. So I'll take a couple ice cubes of blueberries instead of strawberries and a little bit of apple. And I don't want pineapple today. You can adjust it depending on kind of what you feel like. Now tomorrow I'll do beets again. We're going to take that one real slow. So I kind of like juicing and putting them in the ice cube trays because then you get to kind of you know, you get to make your juice depending on what you have as far as the ice cube trays, however you want to do it. You get to make your own juice and make your own concoction, what you feel like that day. And that's one thing I really, really like about putting in ice cube trays, even though it is a step and it's a pain in the neck a little bit to do. It's worth that ability to kind of adjust how you feel and what you want to drink. And we are going to eventually here go someplace and sit like we did at Charles Mill Lake. Beets, I have no words. Well, the one thing about it is I have and I struggle with iron levels. So I will tell you one thing after juicing beets is I had some beets yesterday. Now the first mistake I made was I had it on an empty stomach. And I did put other things. You can't just drink straight beets. You have to put like apples or oranges or carrots, something with a high vitamin C, because that helps your body ingest it. You have to be careful what you drink with it because it will, if you ingest it, then it could make it can it can like counteract it. It's like if you have milk, I think with it, it's like why bother drinking it? So I will never do it on an empty stomach again because I had a little bit of an upset tummy. So did my husband. My mother didn't, but she had something to eat. Um, so I had it with carrot and apple, and it was absolutely delicious. One thing that I can say is last night I was like, man, I could just seem like I could move a little bit more. And that's because the beets actually help to bring, make sure, the blood work a little bit better. And one of the other problems that people have with beets is that they feel like they taste the dirt because you got to wash them before you just throw them in something. So I know that there's vitamins on the peel, but I knew if I didn't do it, I wouldn't. I'd taste it. Josh would taste it. I washed the beets, and they were organic. I washed them in. I washed them in what? I washed them in around a baking soda. Let them soak in there for 15 minutes. And then I did it in and then I rinsed that off and then I did it in vinegar. So I washed and cleaned them and people say you can scrub the outside of it and it's fine and but I just knew that I was going to taste it. So it was actually really good. I just will never do it on an empty stomach again. That was my downfall. So I winded up with my stomach not happy with me. So I have no problem doing it again. I just won't ever do it on empty stomach. But it was really good. I was pleasantly surprised. And I have actually been pleasantly surprised. I just dropped my needle. I need it. Um, throughout this whole process, actually, because I am actually like I thought I would taste the kale in this, and I don't. I taste the pineapple. I don't taste the kale. And I would, and see, I'm not the kind of person, neither is my husband, that likes kale. I'm not gonna sit and eat it. I'll drink it now. I won't sit and eat it. I used to juice, then stopped because I got lazy. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I got these glass bottles on Wayfair, but you can get them on Amazon. There's 8. I think I got them for $17. I think that the biggest hesitation for people with juicing is that when you watch the juicing videos, they go out and they get the produce right. Well, the way we shop mainly at the first of the month, at the beginning of the month. By the middle of the month, finances are tight. So I don't have the finances to go out and go out and buy produce every, couple of days. I just don't have it. We have a lot of local markets here in Ohio that we can go to. And so I'm going to shop the deals when it comes to fruits and vegetables. So like the other day, I found in our local grocery store, found pineapple for 2.99. Well, I'd probably go and buy about 5 of them. Well, we got 3 cups of pineapple out of one, or 3 cups of juice out of one pineapple. I'm not going to drink 18 cups in 3 days. So what I did was I put them in ice cube trays. Is it an extra step? Yes. But like I just got done juicing kale, so I put a little bit of kale in here because I'm starting off slow. 80-20% rule, right? Hi, Sandy. And then I did 2 ice cubes of apples, 2 ice cubes of strawberries, and a ice cube of pineapple. And I've just let it melt, and it makes it into a juice. You can freeze it up to 6 months. So then, if I had other things and I wanted to do kale and blueberries, if I had any or something else or whatever, I could do it depending on what I wanted to do. So I can make the juice to my liking. So it is an extra step to have to ice cube, put them in ice cube trays and undo them and put them in Ziploc bags. But if I want to be able to juice, may not be able to take this out now. It's going to be the way that I'm going to have to do it because financially, that's how we have to do it. So I think that a lot of people hesitate when it comes to juicing because they're just like, well, I can't go out and every couple of days and buy produce. There's a really nice produce stand about 45 minutes from where we live. Well, it's 45 minutes away. I'm going to go down there and get a big chunk of stuff and come home and take the next couple of days and juice it. And here's another thing, too. If you've got to take the machine out, you've got to get the stuff prepared, right? It's good to see you, too. Get the stuff prepared, get it juiced. You're not going to do it. It takes a lot. But if you've got the stuff already done and put in ice cream trays and frozen, then when you feel up to doing it, then you do it. And then, but then if you're not, you've got them all juiced up. You don't have to sit there having to do it. No, and I have to live my life in this way of going, well, I have to do it when I'm up to it. So if I'm not up to it, it's not happening. So this way, if I've got it or mama helps me with it a lot of times, which is what's going to have to happen. If she can help juice and we put it in ice cube trays, then I don't have to go. I mean, I'm thinking today, I'm like, if I had to put this whole concoction together, I would have had to get the strawberries out. I'd had to get the apples peeled or apples done, in order to make the juice, and then put the machine together, and then I'd had to do all that just to get that little bit. But it didn't take me nothing but a minute. The only thing I had to do was do the kale because that one had to be done before it went bad. But and I thought for sure I'd taste the kale, and I don't. For sure, I'm like, I'm gonna taste that kale. Nope, can't even taste the kale. But they did shirts, put Mr. Blessed to crochet in another round of antibiotics. Now, I don't know what it was, a combination of stuff, but something didn't agree with his stomach and whatever it was, he didn't hold that down. So I don't know. We got to get rid of this cough, otherwise he's not going to be able. When he does become a papu, which is grandfather in Greek, you won't be able to go to the hospital and see the little one. So it's not like it's 4 or 5 months away. It's next month. Yeah. I've never done sprouts. That's another one I'm going to have to try. You know, I'm just going to have to build up to it. But you're going to do beets. My biggest recommendation is don't do them on an empty stomach. I was planning to go live yesterday, but man alive. I got done and I was like, my stomach was doing all different kind of loop de loos. I had to go lay down. And my mother was the only one that didn't have it because she had had something to eat. So I thought, okay, I'm not doing this on an empty stomach again. That would that's my only recommendation. It was delicious. It was absolutely delicious, and stuff was moving and grooving, but I will never do it on an empty stomach again. So I'm doing the 80-20% rule, but I'm having to kind of make sure that I'm kind of doing it in a way that, like, well, I thought that apples were on a higher index than the glucose. It's not. It's actually a low low glycemic fruit. Yes. So it's a low glycemic fruit. Um, but I I thought I don't want to put a whole thing of kale in there, and my body isn't used to kale and it's gonna go, what the heck is this? So I did add a little bit more fruit to this concoction till I kind of get used to the kale. And I think I've had a headache since I've kind of started juicing, but I think it's like, I've been reading that your body, when you start this, kind of goes through a little bit of a detox because it's not used to it. It's with Josh's body's going through a little bit. And another thing I did is I've been sitting out here. I started drinking that at like 7:15. So I'm not gulping it down. I'm having a little bit and I'm slowly enjoying it. Well, thank you for stopping on in. Make sure you do hashtag blessed in the chat before you leave so people can connect with your channel. If you can watch any of our stuff to get us back to monetization, we would appreciate it. And I'm going to give you a channel shout out this week too. I've got some people lined up. I about thre- I was I'm telling you this week I was we were at the doctor. I said, listen, you don't do something and get him on another round of antibiotics and didn't see if that helped. And he did do a chest x-ray and noticed a little bit of something there. I said, we're going straight to the hospital. No, just hashtag blessed. Hashtag blessed. I said, we're going straight to the hospital because we're done. Because that man has not stopped coughing. It's coughing, coughing, coughing now. Doc went to the doctor. He's Yeah, do hashtag blessed. We do travel. And you should be it should drop it before you leave. And just a note, say when you're saying to everybody that you did the thing, make sure you say connect. Because YouTube doesn't like that SUB word. We want to know that you connected. YouTube, change it. I live in large. Welcome on in. Change it. Change the subscribe button to the connect button. It would make a world of difference. And if you do it, I want a little bit of send it to mama. It was my idea. Oh, so tired. I shouldn't be tired, but I'm just exhausted. I was busy getting ready for that interview story. And then I'm just, like I said the other day, I said, my mind's other places. right now. Oh, it's been worried about Josh. I mean, I was ready last night to take him to the hospital. That man is stubborn as all get out. I was just said, I just looked at him and I said, when we were at the doctor's office, I said, she's not going to do anything. That's where we're going next. And I'm not leaving until they admit you for a couple days. I was like that much. And I literally cried in the doctor's office. I was like, you all don't understand. And we have a wonderful doctor, but I said, he can't live like this. I can't live like this. So I'm not sleeping. He's on a CPAP. He can't use the CPAP machine because he can't stop coughing his head off long enough to do it. I've tried everything under the sun. So we'll see what happens with the antibiotic. He can hold it down. If not, then she'll have to call in the other antibiotics being put in there. So I just said to her straight out, I said, you know, he's going to have a very special time coming up here. You know, he's going to become a papu. And, you know, he's coughing like this. I said, he won't go to the hospital to see this little one. And I said, he won't go and they won't let him 10 feet in front of this little one because of his coughing. He told me, he said, I'm coughing like this. I won't go. And I said, what? He's going to wait 2 or 3 months till we figure out what's going on and getting this done before he can meet this little one? Not happening. Not on your life. I get to be I'm a tiger, guys. I thought for sure I'd taste this kale. I don't taste it. I mean, I wouldn't put a whole ton in, but I'm gonna till my body gets used to it. But I thought for sure I was gonna taste the kale, and I don't. This is delicious. It was good. And some of these I'm just trying out, but my biggest tip is get the juicer. Um, I juiced kale before I came out here, and these glass bottles I got on Amazon because if you use plastic, then it's going to absorb the flavors and smells, especially if you're doing beets and so forth. So I did probably about that much of kale. So I just juiced kale before I came out here because it was the last thing that I got that I needed to juice. Put the kale in ice cube trays, and then I already juiced, which I'm going to put up in a little bit. Strawberries yesterday, apples, beets, and carrots. So those were already ice cubed. So we came out here at 6:30, and by 7:15 they were unthawed enough to drink. There was a little bit, but not much. And I've just been drinking it since then. But it was 2 ice cubes of apple, 2 ice cubes of strawberry, and an ice cube of pineapple. And it was delicious. So because I'm kind of getting used to the vegetables and so forth, there's 80-20% rule, but I didn't want to overload on kale and be like, because I never really had it. I'm not somebody that will sit and eat it. I don't like it. I don't like to eat it. I mean, if it's in a salad, I'll eat it, but it's not something I want to sit down and eat. Spinach is not really that either that, but I like the spinach in juice. It's delicious. But I am putting a little bit more fruit in it till I get used to my body getting used to it. Yesterday I did beets with apple and carrot, and it was delicious. But I should not have done it on an empty stomach That my body did not like that at all. So, but I got the glass bottles because I can take these, and in the morning or in the evening, if I know I want to do like beet juice in the morning sometime, or sometime in the day I wanted to do a beet juice, then I could put them in the glass bottles. I got 8 of these for like $17, and I had a $10 credit on Wayfair, so I got them for really inexpensive, and they have them on Amazon too. So if I wanted to make like a beet, let's say I wanted to make a beet juice for the next morning, I could take an ice cube of beet juice. I could take whatever else I had in the refrigerator. I could take apple, I could take carrot, whatever it is, and I could put them in this glass and just put it in the refrigerator and let it unthaw. Or I could put it in this jar, in this here, if I knew I was going to have it the next 2 or 3 hours, and just leave it on the counter. So I got these because they're wide mouth, they're not plastic, because if we have beet juice on, it's going to stain it. And it's also going to absorb the smell, the odor of the juice. Yeah, after a while, plastic will do that. Glass is not going to do that. So I got them. You can, if I'm going to make a juice and I know I'm going to have it, I could juice in right into, I could pour juice right into here. But I only filled it up about that much. This is a 16-ounce thing. I'm just slowly getting used to it. I got to make my body get used to it. I can't just, I would never recommend anybody that is never juiced before juiced. If your body's not used to it, you got to slowly get used to it. And I think that's kind of what's happening with me is my body's kind of detoxing a little bit, which they say happens when you start doing the juice round. So we shall see. But I'm a big I'm a big juicing component now. Like when we go to when we get our budget for our food, we're gonna be going to a local it's a local place down, it's about 45 minutes away, but it has a lot of really good values on fruits and vegetables and all that. So I'd like to get some watermelon because it's in season. I want to get seedless watermelon and juice that and freeze that so we can put that in there. I am also realizing that I just don't drink enough water. I have a real struggle. I get busy and then I forget to drink water. So one thing that I'd like to do is start putting some of the ice cubes into my water. So I could take those bottles and be able to put, an ice cube of water and just drink it that way too. But yep. Well, and Josh is just, we're going to have to go really slow with him because his stomach is just, he's taking he's going to take a little bit of time to get his body to used to all this. This is just not used to any of this. I have a little bit more tolerance to him than he does. But like if I wanted to have water, I could take an ice cube of pineapple or an ice cube of apple or strawberry and put it in my water. And then I'm getting that extra vitamins, but I'm also getting um the fruit or the water too. So, you know, that's another thing that I'm going to be doing too as well. Is doing that. I've got my Elvis tumbler, but I may get another tumbler and take places to put some ice cubes like that in. We'll see. All right, what's the next one I want to do? So many colors to choose from. I don't know. I go this route. I am just. I'm tired. And I just think it's, just not sleeping like I said to my daughter, I'm just worried. I'm not worried. It's not a worry. It's just my mind's on other things. I gotta start practicing my flute tomorrow more. I get back to the diamond painting. I have to admit, I'm not someone that likes. I don't like when it gets too hot. It's sort of like, yeah, I know anything you do with it when it gets too warm. But I do enjoy coming out, listening to the birds. And once Mr. Buster Crochet gets a little bit better, I can we'll start going some places. I want to get down to the Amish country. So I want to see if there's some places I'll take my soap caddies. Come on, get in there. You come outside and sit outside. It's just beautiful today. But yesterday was the interview with the gentleman, and then today was the doctors. And I thought that he may be in the hospital. I said to him yesterday, I said they may even want you to be admitted to the hospital. I mean, I was thinking that's just stressful. There's only one person. There's a couple more weeks to go that needs to be in that position. We had Taco Bell this afternoon. We went to the doctor and I was just so tired. And all I wanted to do was come home and have a rest. And I said, Josh, I'm too tired to even eat or fix anything. So we stopped off and had that. Just like coming out here and listening to the birds sing. I don't know when that place is. To look, I think was it the Blueberry Festival? When we went last year because those fireworks were so much better than us going down to wherever it was. It was not even worth the struggle. Better show than where we were. And if we go, we're gonna go pick up Raising Canes or something like that before we go. My lord, that was a good show last year. I think it was the Blueberry Festival because it was the car show, which Josh likes. Fireworks. I need to look. I think there was somebody that got shy out today. I forgot who I did. I have to make sure tomorrow I'm gonna start working on those. By the time we get done with the Advent series, and maybe next Christmas before it happens. Oh, I gotta get that series done. We're back. Welcome back. Hi, Judith. Welcome on in. But hashtag blessed in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel. Just working on our soap caddies. We sell these in our merch store. We also have um we also have the military and the first responders. That's okay. No problem. No worries. We're all human. I do it too on lives. Okay. We're just sitting out here and enjoying the weather while we can before it decides to rain, whatever it is going to do. So, but I'll start putting out. I did each individual fruit and vegetable that I got so you guys could see how much juice we got out of it roughly. Here starts the frogs. I think I'm gonna go inside a little bit, get a shower, and I'm just going to relax. I just feel like it's been the past couple days. I've been really worried about Josh, my husband, and just but tomorrow I'm gonna start working on. I got to do my flute tomorrow. 'Cause I'm supposed to do it next week. I've got to really be on it every day this week. But I just don't. My head. I got a little bit of headache, and after yesterday, I will start up tomorrow. So I relax the rest of the evening. I'm just worn out today. I just thought the other day I said, when I nailed it on the head, and I thought, you know what, I am distracted right now, and rightfully so, but I'm distracted. I've started trying to get him back into YouTube chats and stuff. But then when I do those, then I don't get to do these. Sometimes can do both at the same time, but the thing is, if I kind of distract this, then I can't. And I mean, the problem is that we have that thing coming up on the 9th, and I want to have soap caddies ready to go. Plus, I want to try to go down in the Amish country and get soap caddies down there to see if I can get any stores down there to take them. So I'm trying to use up what yarn I have left so that people have an option to choose. Plus, I have some military ones. There's another place in Belleville. There's Bellevue and Belleville, and I get them confused. And the guy that did David that did the story yesterday said you should try there and military soap caddies. And then I've got a package that I've got to get out tomorrow. Um, to um to tomorrow to get out to not tomorrow but next month with several people. So I've got to get those packages ready. It's another thing I'm gonna do tomorrow. There's a girl in Indiana. Well, there's Randy, because I want to gentlemen they send us the swag. I want to send him some soap caddies. There's Haley Ray. Shatika, I want to send her some. There's another gentleman I want to send him something. And I'm thinking with Haley Ray, I may make her a connection cake. I'm not sure about that. I will decide this weekend. And then yeah. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I can't get all of them out, at least the three. Randy, the other gentleman, and Haley Ray. So there's at least three. No, there's 4. So there's 5 people, but if I can't get all 5, at least at least 5, at least 4 people. If I can't get all 5, at least 4. Mailing is so expensive, but I'm thinking of sending Haley Ray a connection cake, but I'm not positive I'm going to do that. That's kind of we shall see. I'd like to, but we'll see. Well, I may or may not. I don't know yet. And there's the other lady that I think if I don't send her one, there's one lady that I follow. She's on Facebook. It's Angie Allen's World, and she's a sweet lady. And she sent me something, and I'm thinking I may do her a connection cake for sure because she'll utilize it too a lot on her channel. So I think for her for definite, I'm gonna do it for her and send her some soap caddies to do in her giveaway. So I have to find. She has to be a. She's just a fun lady. So I got to pick some fun colors for her. Probably pink, and then I'll do the top. I got a top, so it'll be a pink. You know what I would do for a Kaylee Ray if I sent her one. I know if I do pink. I have yellow. I'd probably do yellow. She's just this. She's just this little neat ray of sunshine. It's just. I just look at her. I was praying for her today because she was having some surgery done, so I was praying for her. So we'll see. We shall see. But definitely the other lady, and if I did it, it'd be pink. So she's a bright thing. I make the connection cakes. I don't mind making them, but they're not my favorite thing to make. But I do make them. And I will make them if somebody asks. And it seems to be every time I make a connection cake, they all come out a little different. Every solitary one. But maybe I'll try to get that done this weekend. Sky is beautiful, behind the thing. You know, I, I don't know. I, I'm Christina and I were kind of talking about it. She goes, "Mom, she said I'm a little nervous too because she said I have to share you with somebody else now. You're not just my mom anymore." And I never thought of that either. When we become grandmothers for the first time, our kids, especially if they're only children, realize they have to share us with somebody. She said, "I'm used to having you all to myself, and now that's not going to be the case." You know, and I said to her, "I'm so blessed you had me mom, my mom, as a grandmother because I didn't have solid grandmothers. I Don't get me wrong, I love my grandmothers, but it was never this warm fuzzy thing. When you have a grandmother that's mentally ill, it's hard to get close. And my other grandmother was so busy taking care of my grandfather, who was a quadriplegic. You know, she was busy a lot of the times. And my grandmother, because of her circumstances and life circumstances, she was somewhat cold. I didn't notice it till I was older. She was very critical, but she was also cold. She had a lot of layers to her and a lot of walls up. And so my mom's mom. So as I got older, it was harder to get through all those things. And I am so grateful. I said to my mom, because my dad used to take me down to this Elvis fan club. And of course, I was the youngest person in the group. And my mom used to say, "Oh, I shouldn't have taken you down there," or something. I said, "Mom, it was the best thing in the world because I met a wonderful woman. Her name was Gail, and she had an older son that did not have any children. And then she had a daughter who had schizophrenia. So she never would have been able to have grandchildren. She never did. She would have loved it. So I became that grandchild for her. And I used to call her Grandma Gail. And my daughter, uh, that was her godmother. And and then, she used to call her Grandma Gail too. So she became that grandmother through me. And I needed that. We went on trips together. I would call and talk to her for a couple, hour here and there. I go down and visit her. I mean, I just had this really neat relationship with her in a way that I could not have with my other grandparents. Not consider I never met. Oh, you never met your grandparents. I never met my mom's dad because my mom's dad decided to unalive himself, so I never met him. He was an alcoholic, and so I never met him. Um, I met my dad's grandfather or my dad's dad when I was in my teenage years, and he at that point had had a stroke. Um, so I'm thankful that I got to know him a little bit the last 3 or 4 years of his life. I got to hear I love you out of him. My dad got to heal from that connection made and that reconnection again. But my grandmother wouldn't have sat down with my biological grandfather or my step grandfather, which was my granddaddy, for anything. They wouldn't have sat with her in one room. Neither would she have sat in one room with either one of them. It wouldn't have happened. And my my papu, he was my step grandfather, but he was like a grandfather to me. I said to my mom, when I think of warm vibes when it comes to a grandparent, I think of my papu. That's who I just, that's who, when I think of warm vibes, I think of papu. I don't think of my grandmother. She was just, she was tough. She was wonderful, but she was tough to love. And I don't want to be that way for this one. I said to my daughter, I said, I feel like I'm somewhat competing with me, mom. And she said, Mom, you can't be that same grandma because you're not her. And I'm like, yep, I have to remember to be proud of being yourself. Everyone else is taken. And boy, is that something I'm going to preach to this little one. I want to be absolutely reminding this little one, you got to stick up and be proud for being yourself because there's only one. When God made you, He broke the mold and He did it for the rest of us too. But I'm breaking chains that otherwise were never broken. And I said to my daughter, you were so blessed to have me, Mom. She goes, Mom, I'm real sorry you didn't have that. I didn't have it. I didn't have it. God provided in other ways, but I didn't have it. And, you know, my mother, when she dealt with Christina, she didn't really have to share her with another set of grandparents. You know, she didn't have any contact with her biological's father or grandfather, and for various reasons. And she didn't have much contact with the grandmother. So, I left the door open, and, my mom didn't really have to compete with anybody. And not that I'm competing against anybody. I don't want to do that. I can't be the same grandparents as the other set because we're different. I'm going to be a different grandmother, and Josh will be a different papu or different grandfather, which is papu's grandfather in Greek. So it's going to be different. And it's not going to be the same, and it can't be the same. But And it's going to delight me more than anything to have what I didn't have for this little one. They're going to have all of their grandparents together. Now, I know Josh isn't biological, and that's okay. He adopted Christina, and he's as much as her. If she asked who is my dad, it's him. He treats her like his own, 110%. And I've got to order a new birth certificate for her too. So I have to, he's going to have all of his grandparents together in a way I didn't have. And that's going to be special to see that. My mom was saying that she didn't have her one grandparents were in Scotland. So she just got to see her a couple times. And then her one grandfather passed when she was 6. So she didn't really get to know him. So, my grandmother passed when I was in my 40s, and my other grandmother passed when I was in my early teens, my late teens. It was after I graduated, or shortly after all that. So it's going to be a wonderful experience. It's just, I just, you know, and I'm trying very hard not to let you all down too. But, and it's somewhat, I have to admit, there's a discouragement right now because it's like, again, my watch hours of the channel were banked at 3:43. Now I understand YouTube's back about 4 or 5 days, right? 3:43. Go on today, they dropped down to 2.99, which means they've given us hours. But they have given us, we went from 250, 252 to 256, or 2065. So it means they gave us those 40 hours or 45 hours, something like that. They gave us like 13 hours. But of course, out of that 45, they took 33 because they took it from the previous day. So we would have been over 2100 if we had gotten the full, but we don't because they they backtrack. So guys, I still need your help tremendously. I'm gonna start reaching out to some other people, you know, to just the more we can do it and get it and so forth, the quicker we can get there and stop. Because I feel like I'm walking two steps forward and 10 steps back. So any help with it. And what I am going to do is I'm going to go in tomorrow. I'm not up to it today. I'm going to go tomorrow and I'm going to sit at the computer and work on watch hour or not watch hours, playlist. I'm going to do shout outs and also going to go through and list the amount of hours per playlist. I'm going to clean up the playlist a little bit more. Um, and I'm also going to put our playlist up for the what are those things now? The relaxing ones, because that's a huge one to sit there and watch. A lot of those are 10 hours long. So if you haven't seen them, that's something to put in the background and that just be playing in the background. It's nice music, so forth. I should do some more of those or try to do some more of them. It's just hard because I don't have StreamYard anymore. I'd like to get back to StreamYard. I think what I'm going to start doing though is going back to StreamYard. And I think you have 20 hours a month, even though it'll have the StreamYard logo. It'll be better than not using it. Hi, Alaskan. Welcome on in. How you doing? I don't know if you saw. I saw you put up about having people help with stuff. But if you can help watching any of our stuff get us back to monetization after, I would appreciate it. Any help with that? We lost our monetization because apparently we backed out of the partner program when we did not. But they can't. I can't appeal it because it was done apparently voluntarily. So any help with that, guys? We need the community's help to get us back there. I know you guys are working on it. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. We lost our, it came across that it said memberships paused on April the 21st. Okay. So I reached out to YouTube after a little bit and they said, and I thought it was because from April 21st of 2025 to April 21st of 2026, we didn't have enough watch hours. That's what my first thing was. And then I just kind of waited and then I reached out to them because I thought it was a fluke. And they said, no, it's because you voluntarily left the program. I said, what? I didn't voluntarily leave the program. I checked my security, made sure that nobody had gotten into it or anything like that. Um, but mom didn't do anything. And I'm thinking, if it's that easy to hit a button and just leave, you would think they would have the button and you say, by hitting this, you are voluntarily leaving the partner program. Hit the word confirm or type in the word confirm or something. Nope. If I did hit anything, which I didn't happen. So they said, you can't. I said, I'd like to appeal this because I didn't do it. You cannot appeal this because it was done voluntarily. We can't get into that side. It may have been, but I tried to appeal it. We can't appeal it because they can't see it on their end. We didn't violate anything. We didn't do anything. And I could have gotten back. We could have gotten back because all the revenue goes to mama. We could have gotten back on the volunteer program, the partner program, as of May 21st. Our watch hours are sitting at 2,065. So we can't do it. Once we hit 3,000, we'll get back to partial monetization and we'll get back to full once we get to the 4,000. We just need everybody's help to get us back there. So any help with watching anything and just doing it would be so helpful to get us back to that stage of monetization. It was absolutely ridiculous. I don't think it happened. They said they couldn't do a thing. And of course, I'm probably not talking to a human being, I'm talking to a bot. Oh, well, thank you very much. Because like today, it was like we had banked like 343 last night. And I went on today. Now it says we banked 299 because YouTube's 5 days back. Well, overnight, we went from 252 to 265 or 2052 to 2065. What does that mean? It means they gave us like 13 watch hours, which means we had 45, 46, 43, whatever watch hours. We only were credited 13 because they took away the rest because of the previous year, day, whatever it is. So we only gained 13 watch hours. We'd have been over 2,100. But of course, they take it away because they go from the previous day and you lose the previous year. It's like, I'm like, geez, thanks. 40 watch hours. Just so we just need everybody, and I'm going to reach out to some other people plugging away at it so we can combat that. Because the only way to do it is just, you know, yep. I mean, the only way to combat it is by people just plugging along and watching so we can have a really heavy amount of hours so we can get to there as quickly as possible. Yeah. Well, the problem is that once you get through that first year, this is the problem for us. Is now we've gone through. We started January 13th of 2025. We were monetized in um we were partially monetized in August of 25 because Patty was up here. And then we were fully monetized in like October, somewhere in there, of 25. Our year came up January 13th of 2026, right? But it's going back from April 21st, right? When this all started. So, like, it looks and says, okay, whatever hours you had for May 26th, or I think it's on like it's probably on May 21st or something like that, right? Whatever hours you had for May 21st of 2025, if we had 20 watch hours, right? Or 30 watch hours, whatever it is, right? We're going to take those away because you lose those now. It's been a year. You don't get to keep those anymore. You lose them and you can only keep this many. You see what I mean? That's the problem we're running into is once you've gone through that first year, that's why it is so important to, if you're going to get monetized, to work on getting it within the first year because you're not playing the going forward and then going back and going forward and going back because that's what they're doing. Now, if they're looking at May 22nd of 2026, they'll give us our watch hours from that day, but they're not going to give us the watch hour. They're going to take away the watch hours we had for May 22nd of 2025. So we're going to be playing this yin yang game. So the sooner that we can get back to, bank the hours and get the hours, then the less damage it's going to do and we'll get there quicker. If that makes any sense. I personally believe, this is my personal belief. I think, in all honesty, that once you work so dang on hard to get monetized, that they should allow you to stay monetized as long as you are uploading at least, maybe, let's say 10 videos or 10 live/videos a month, right? Or 8 videos or lives a month. They have to be longer than, you know, um, 10 minutes or half an hour, what have you, or something like that. But in order to stay monetized, you have to be able to do that. That to me would be so much more because, quite frankly, YouTube's losing out by having us not monetized on super chats and memberships and they're still getting ad revenue, but not as much with us not monetized anymore. They're losing money in sense. And to me, if you worked hard enough to get there, forget the watch hours bit. They have to upload a certain amount a month in order to stay monetized. I'd have no problem doing that. That's where I think it should lie. But I'm not YouTube, so but that's where I think it should be. Hint, hint, hint. That's my belief. Sorry to say, but that's where I believe it should be because I'm trying to get soap caddies done because we've been asked to do a vendor's event on the 3rd of July. And I know that me becoming a grandmother very soon here is going to kind of slow that down a little bit. So I'm trying to get as many soap caddies as I can done so that I can be ahead of the game, so I can get them done. I have to go get more yarn tomorrow or next month. See what I have in my yarn stash. Strands. And Josh, I'm telling you, I just think I said, he said to me today, he goes, see, having these strands are so helpful because I won't waste any yarn, but then I can just pull it out. Update at a certain hour time. My watch will do it. Yep, mine don't. Mine do it in the middle of the night. Like I said, we went from two. We went from 252 to 265. And I am doing a daily I do I haven't done one past couple days, but every couple days I do a daily update. And Alaska Wildman, I get to give you a shout out on our video. Um we built this YouTube channel on community. I put you in there if you hadn't seen it yet. If you want to go look at it and possibly share it out, then go ahead and do it. Because you're in there. I would have liked to put everybody in there, but I couldn't put everybody in there. I tried, but it had been impossible. So I've been trying to do shout outs to people that I couldn't put out in the video, try to make up for it. But I think I was on Cruising Fun Anytime and I got the greatest compliment. And she's like, Mary is just so helpful and trying to get everybody connected and you know, she's just, she's so supportive on the YouTube streets. And that made me feel really good. And I was like, yeah, thank you. I try, but I mean, Josh is coughing and my daughter becoming a grandmother next month. Getting a lot going on. It's almost like he just all of a sudden stopped coughing as much. I told him, I said, we were right in the doctor's office, and I said, she doesn't give you anything, we're on our way to the hospital because we're done. Of course, hopefully, if we can't keep the antibiotic down, then you can call up and see if she'll call in that other antibiotic he's talking about. But hopefully, he can. Hopefully, it was just a combination of stuff. Because it's not, I said to the doctor, I said, it's not just that. I said, he wears a CPAP. He can't wear a CPAP because he's coughing his head off, which means he's not sleeping right. And he says he wakes up with a headache every day because he's not wearing a CPAP. So I said, we're done with this. And I'm telling you, if the antibiotics work, I'm going to be really teed off. Because when we went to the hospital last time, the doctor was talking about giving him an augmentin round. And she didn't want it. She said, oh, Chuck's Restaurant came by. We don't want to do that. Da, 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 da. And they have him on Augmentin now. I'm like, if we could have given him this then, and he would have, and whatever it is, it's not anything that he's contagious with because we're not getting it. My mom's not sick. I'm not sick. So it's not anything that is contagious, but he also can't go to the dang on hospital to meet somebody coughing like this. He said, I won't go. And I thought, I literally was in the doctor's office crying. And I said, I am really sorry. She goes, no. She goes, I understand. She said, you two have a very important person to meet in the upcoming weeks here. And she said, we want to get him better so we can go meet this individual. And I'm like, yep. And I said, I'm going to, I said, it'd be horrible to have to go and not take him with us. I said, it'd be ridiculous. We got to do something. Even if this wasn't happening, he can't live like this. Coughing, cough, coughing, cough, coughing, coughing, coughing. I mean, it's not just I mean, literally. And he'd go in these coughing jags that would last like for 5 minutes long. I'm like, you know, it's like ridiculous. So he got one antibiotic in him, and his cough was. My mom said, it seems like his cough all of a sudden died down. And then, of course, something bothered his stomach and he couldn't keep whatever he had in his stomach down. So hopefully the antibiotic was absorbed enough before that happened. So, you know, I'll have to give him a break from juicing for a couple days and let his stomach kind of, especially if, kind of come back together, especially after, um, especially so the antibiotics can really get in his system and he can get better because that's what we want. So I won't be able to. I'll have to take a little break from juicing for the next couple of days to give him a little break so we can get the antibiotics and get them going in his body. Just so we can get him better. Yeah, I'm ready for it. I mean, it's he's been doing this for 2 months. I just I said to him literally, I was literally at the doctor's office and I just looked at her and I said, if you're not gonna do anything, we're on our way to the hospital. And I'm not leaving there until they admit him. I said, we gotta do something. So she did do a chest x-ray and saw that there was almost like a little bit of haze in a place that there wasn't before. Which she says she doesn't think that it's pneumonia, but she said, I'm not comfortable having you leave here without getting you on a round of antibiotics, because she said your chest X-ray has changed. There's a change, and she did refer him over to a pulmonologist. So, and they did do something to make sure that um something to make sure check his heart, all that kind of stuff too with blood work, but I just and she's like, well, he may not meet the criteria. I said, I won't leave the hospital with him until they admit him, period. I said, I won't do it. I said, even if they have to put him in there for observation, I said, I'm not going to do it. But I said, I will not leave with him like this. We can't, whatever we're doing, it's not working, and I'm just not leaving him. Sorry. So I think if his chest x-ray had looked the same, she wouldn't have done it, but she did do it. Another thing that he asked her too was whether or not it could be whooping cough, which she said if it is whooping cough, the test to be able to diagnose that takes about, she said, by the time it comes back, it takes like 3 months to come back. She said it's a very, very long test to see if you actually have it. And she said, if you did, she said amoxicillin or a menton is not the thing for that. The Z-Pack would be more on the lines of that. But she said it's not like we can do a test for got these two done. Um, got the test for uh whooping cough and have it come back, like test and have a, you know, 24 or 48-hour thing. She said it takes months to come back with the results. And she said it's not even worth it. It's just on that note, she said, if I thought it was that, she said I'd put you on the Z-Pack because yeah, I'm not touching vaccines. Like he is so sensitive to all that stuff. No. Him and I are extremely sensitive. I can't touch the flu shot because it's made with egg whites. And so because I'm allergic to egg whites, I can have a pie that has a little bit. I can't touch angel food cake, can't touch meringue. I can't touch stuff that is highly concentrated. My grandmother used to make a, a wonderful soup called octolemnical soup, which is a Greek soup, but it's made with tons of egg whites. Can't touch it. Every Christmas Eve, she used to make that. I always used to have something like Chinese food or pizza or something. So I can't have anything with a high concentrate of egg whites. I can have them, I can still have egg whites. I can have like, if I have an egg or I have two eggs on like Monday, I won't have another egg for like a couple days. But I can't have anything with a really high concentration of egg whites. So I can't have a flu shot. My doctor did it once, and I had to stay in the waiting room for like an hour to make sure I wasn't going to have a reaction. And then the second time I had it, he's like, I really don't like giving you the shot because of the egg whites that are in here, because I don't want you to have a reverse reaction. And then the C shot, my doctor just looked at me and said, don't touch it. Don't, you, he said, you should not have it. He said, you are so sensitive to a lot of things. And so is Josh. He is highly sensitive to all that stuff. He could very well have an adverse reaction to it. He won't touch it. He is very sensitive to so many things and has so many allergies and no, no. I'm doing it. Um, so I don't think it's whooping cough. She doesn't think it is either, but it was one thing that he mentioned. But she said if you do have it, the antibiotic to do it would be the Z-Pack. And if he can't hold this antibiotic down, which he's had Augmentin before, and it just makes his tummy a little bit upset. But it could have been a combination of things today. He won't have any more of the antibiotic till tomorrow. We'll give his stomach an overnight break and he'll start again tomorrow. But if for some reason he just can't handle it, she'll call up and tell her, and she'll put him on a round of his Z-Pack. Because if it's just made enough of a difference in like a couple hours, then we know that he needs to be on some kind of antibiotic. So yeah. And she said if he doesn't get better on the Menton, she's gonna put him on a round of a Z-Pack just to cover that in case it is. But she said it's probably not. It's very rare, and it's takes a long time to get a result back. So she said if you're getting better, but you're not all the way better, she's going to give him a round of a Z-Pack after this. She said if you get better on this, then we're not going to bother with that. If you can't tolerate, if he can tolerate amoxicillin, he just Menton kind of bothers his stomach a little bit. So if he can't tolerate this one, then she'll have to put him on the Z-Pack. I'll just have to tell her I'm having can't hold it down. So can you please call it the Z-Pack? And she will. So, but he finally, I don't know what it was, but it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, you stop coughing. So even if it's touching it a little bit, means he should have been on Menton about a month ago. And I really wanted her to put it in. He was in the hospital. I really wanted him to be on a round of Menton, and they wouldn't do it. So as long as I'm not getting sick, but the thing is that um I know he. I mean, he is susceptible to pneumonia, but he won't do the pneumonia shot either because he is so sensitive to everything. And I won't do a lot of shots either because I go into I love fibromyalgia. It's just wonderful. But fibromyalgia comes with anxiety. So when I have new medication in me, I can sometimes go into an as or an anxiety attack just over the new meds. I have to keep myself really, really, really calm. So I am so careful. All right. Well, thank you very much. And thank you for helping us with our getting those things help, with the hours there. I appreciate it. Um, I have a tendency, I would panic when I don't need to panic. That's my problem. And so, can't believe how light it is. It's still 9 o'clock. Um, but we're gonna head in soon. So I'm getting tired. I think that the juicing is helping, but I think it's doing some detoxing too as well. Um, thank you. And if you want to share out just on your channel in a post to have people help us with watch hours, that would be awesome. I'd appreciate that. Um, but I would probably go into a little bit of an anxiety issue if I had any kind of any kind of thing like that. So, and thank you for help with it, Alaska Mile, Alaska. I appreciate that very, very much. So I won't do it. Thank you. But I did read because I was sitting there the past couple days. I'm just a little tired, and they said you can have a little bit of a headache and you can kind of be tired because your body's detoxing a little bit. I'm like, oh gravy, because it's going. Oh, vegetables, fruit, and I do. It's not that I don't. I mean, I do eat salad, and I do have cauliflower, and I have broccoli. I have more than Josh does. So I do a lot as well, but this is a whole different way um to get it in. And I don't know, the beet juice was interesting afterwards because I found out, I mean, I literally sat there and I started moving around on crack, pop. It was like, man, things are moving in a way it hasn't moved in a little bit of time. So I'm excited for the beet juice. Um, I just have to do it on a I have to start small and then build up. Yeah, you can beet juice. I mean, I'm going to try it. I've got to put out and show people from the haul that we did. And I know it said HAIL on the short. I realized that after I got it up, but by then it had over 200 views and I wasn't going to take it down. Um, I'm surprised that the pineapple one only got like 25 views to watch it, but I'm still going to put up the rest. Say, this is how much we got from the apples, and this is how much we got from the beets, and this is, of course, I didn't realize when I recorded the beets, I I didn't press record, so I've got something else, but I will never have beets on an empty stomach again, and I'm probably going to start off with about half of an ice cube and just add a little bit and build up to it. But again, with the beets, you have to be very careful what you pair it with because it can counteract. Um, the nutrients. So, yes, I want to try cherries. Absolutely want to try cherries. They say cherries is very good for, and I found out when I had cherries, but they're so expensive, but I got to get some. When you have cherries, um, I could tell that my pain was lessened. I absolutely want to get cherries. I want to get some cherries. But again, I think that the hesitation for a lot of people when it comes to juicing is you get the juice and then, yeah, um, you get the juice or you get the produce and it's like, okay, how can I have this all in 3 days? Or the other kind of juicing, we got the cold press juicer, but the other ones, they go bad within like 24 hours because you've heated up the juice when you made it. So they don't last very long. And so, like I said, we're going to be doing the bulk of our produce shopping for the juicer first couple weeks of the month. And I mean, it's not going to last all the way through until the next month. And so the only way to do it is to get the produce when it's on sale, the good deals. I'm going to be looking for good deals when it's on sale. And then, and then, uh, and then juicing them individually and then freezing them. And then I can choose what I want in my juice that day. Or I may want two different kind of juices. Like I was able to take the ice cubes or the pineapple and the apples and the strawberries out of the freezer and I can adjust the juice. Maybe I want to put, if I've got cherries, I want to put cherries in it. But then I can adjust it to what I have in my freezer and what I've ice cubed. It's an extra step to have to ice cube everything, I know, but it's the only way that I'm going to do it. Because if I'm not up to juicing, I'm thinking to myself, if I wanted to put the juice that I made together today, I'd have had to take out apples and juice them. I'd have had to take out the strawberries and juice them. I'd have had to take out the kale and juice that. And then I would have had to take the pineapple and juice that. And I'm like, I'm not up to that today. I'm up to dropping ice cubes in a jar, in a glass jar, and letting it just, you know, warm up. But I'm not into all that. I did juice the kale. And I was surprised for $1.50 I got like a cup of kale juice out. Now I was expecting it to taste like kale. I didn't even taste the kale, which I was absolutely shocked. Or if I get you can get Sam's Club, you can get a whole big thing of spinach, which I'm interested to get and see how much juice we get out of that. But um for like $4 at Sam's Club. Well, first of all, they're huge. They're big containers that have to be held up in the refrigerator. They take up a lot of room. Because we go to Sam's Club and we buy in bulk at the beginning of the month, there's not that much room. And it's gonna go bad quickly. So having it put in the ice cube trays means that I get to have the produce longer and I get to make it however I want and when I'm up to feeling that day. I may not feel like adding strawberries. I may feel just like apple juice. And I struggle with getting water in me. So if I wanted to take an cube out of the freezer and put it in my water, I can do that. Or let it melt on the counter and then add it when it was, what have you. But I can put it in my water and flavor my water that way. So because we're starting this journey and I'm like, I got to start it slow, especially with Josh. The only way to do it, in my opinion, is to do an ice cube trays because otherwise the stuff's going to go bad and I'm not going to use it. We've got a beautiful farmer's market or it's a little like produce stand about 45 minutes away from us. very good value on produce, homegrown and everything. I'm gonna go there and get a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, we have another thing that we're gonna go back to. It's a Matthew 25 project. They do fresh produce and everything, and we can get a lot of stuff, from produce within our local area. And it's the only way to do it. I freeze some of my juice, but yeah, absolutely. Lasts 3 to 6 months in the freezer. And to me, just being able to go like tomorrow, if I wanted to make a kale and carrot and beet juice, whatever, I just go get out the bottles and put together a juice and let it sit out and have it. I don't have to juice anything. I don't have to do it. And my mother has to help because it does take a lot to do it. And there's going to be times I'm going to juice and not going to film it. But if there's something new, I think it's interesting for people to realize, okay, like I spent $2.99 on a pineapple and we got 3 cups of juice out of it. Go look what you get for 3 cups of juice, fresh juice of the pineapple in the aisle. I mean, if I wanted 6 cups of pineapple juice, that cost me $5. Do y'all see that? Is that the geese behind us? Hold on a second. Oh, do you see the baby geese? I don't want to scare them. I'm gonna move you closer so you can see it. You see the baby geese? Look at the baby geeses. Do you see the babies? There's the baby geeses. There's one, two, three, four, five little ones and the mamas. There's the baby geeses. They hear the garage door opening. Trying to see what part. It's a fountain all lit up. There's the whole family. They'll come back every year now. No family. Adorable. in the grass. Yeah, precious. That was precious. We got to see the baby geese. I looked at the thing. At least there's no fox running. At least we didn't have a lot of wind today. Very windy. I haven't seen deer come out of that yet. Sometimes there'll be deer that'll come out of there. So anyway, my battery is going low. Think my battery and my battery. So guys, we're just gonna keep plugging along, doing this thing we call lives and making it happen. I've just kind of told people as they've come on, when it does happen, that is that I officially become a grandma. I'm gonna hold off for a little bit, letting y'all know, because I want to respect the privacy of my daughter and my son. Um, I will never release the birth date or anything like that. That's not anything that I will release. Um, so there's privacy that I need to respect and hold to. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Um, unless she, you know, unless she wants him on, or him or her on here, I'm not doing that. That comes first. And so, uh, when it happens, there'll be people around me that will know, but um, I will let you know when I feel comfortable to let you all know. Tell you it'll be sometime next month, hopefully, unless someone has some other plans in the next couple days. Supposed to be next month. Shooting for a couple more days. At least we can share the same birthday month, right? So, guys, I appreciate all your support tremendously. I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna go have a shower, see how Josh is doing.